So now we're going to move on to the uterus, and there are three main types of uteri that we discussed in lecture. The first one is duplex, which has two cervixes. The second is bicornuate, which has two moderate uterine horns, just like we are seeing here. And then the third is simplex, which has no uterine horns. The functions of the uterus include supplying nutrients and eliminating waste. And it also expels the fetus at parturition. And now looking at the uterus, we can see the outer surface here is very smooth along the uterus and the uterine horns. And this is called the serosa. And this will actually stretch out during pregnancy. And the serosa helps prevent adhesions during the pregnancy. And you can see these lines here going up and down, longitudinal lines. Those are called myometrium. And as we are looking at the myometrium, just under the myometrium here, we can see the mucosa and submucosal layer, which is directly under the myometrium. And so the uterine artery supplies the blood to the uterus, just right there. And then the vein pulls it away. And right here, we can see that this is the external uterine bifurcation, and which separates the two uterine horns. And it's commonly used to manipulate the uterus during rectal palpations in bovine. And so you can see I've already cut open the uterus for us. And there. And then, so as I said earlier, this is the myometrium on the outer edge, so that would make the inside the endometrium. And the endometrium has caruncles, which are kind of hard to see, but they're little bump structures in here. And it also has cotyledons. And the combination of caruncles and cotyledons during pregnancy is called placentome. And the function of the myometrium is to expel the fetus at parturition, and then it's also responsible for the peristaltic contractions. And it transports sperm through these contractions. So, as I showed you a little bit ago, here are the caruncles. And basically they are the site for placental attachment. And then here we are looking at the uterine body, which is basically right where the two uterine horns meet the uterus. And then we also looked at the cervix, and there are four different types of cervixes that we looked at and learned about in our lecture slides. The first one is transverse folds, which we see here in cattle. And then there is also spiral arrangement, longitudinal folds, and then single rings. The function of the cervix is to secrete mucus-like substances from cervical mucosa, and the thin secretion is estrogen, and that allows for semen passage and fertilization. And then progesterone, which is a thicker secretion, creates the seal on the cervix and prevents the entrance of bacteria into the uterus during pregnancy. So I've already cut the cervix open here. And as you can see, there are many folds here. They're fairly small yet, but there's about between 20 and 30 in here, which is pretty normal. And then next we're going to look at the vagina, and there are two segments of the vagina, the cranial vagina and the vestibule, and those are separated by the hymen. The hymen is only in virgin cattle, and the main function of the vagina is it's the receptacle for semen during natural mating, and it's also where the urinary and reproductive tracts meet and join together.